What's up everybody, Damon here, and in today's gaming news, it's an all PlayStation kind of day. The PS5 is just about over the hill, Sony has no new games and major franchises coming this year, and the new head of Sony Interactive Entertainment says PlayStation Studios have room for improvement.
Ron, are you okay?
After sales of the PlayStation 5 failed to meet expectations over the holidays, Sony has said the console is entering the latter stage of its life cycle. Sony had set an ambitious target of 25 million PS5s sold during the current financial year ending March 31st, 2025, but has now revised its forecast down to 21 million. Sales during the crucial holiday 2023 quarter came in lower than expected despite aggressive promotions. Sony sold 8.2 million PS5s during the third quarter ending December 31st, up from 7.1 million sold during the same quarter the previous year, but that was not enough to hit Sony's lofty target. According to Bloomberg, Sony's senior vice president Naomi Matsuoka said the company now expects the sales pace of the PS5 to start falling during the next fiscal year, which begins in April and runs until the end of March 2025. Matsuoka is quoted as saying, "Looking ahead, PS5 will enter the latter stage of its life cycle. As such, we will put more emphasis on the balance between profitability and sales. For this reason, we expect the annual sales pace of PS5 hardware will start falling from the next fiscal year." The PS5 launched in November 2020 during the height of the pandemic and has now sold 54.7 million units in just over 3 years. This November, the console turns 4 years old, and with Sony now saying it is entering the second half of its life cycle, thoughts will inevitably turn to the next generation and the PlayStation 6. One game that may be set for the PS6 as a launch title is Hideo Kojima's return to the action espionage genre, Fizzant. Kojima has said work on the game is expected to begin in earnest after Death Stranding 2 and in partnership with Sony. Death Stranding 2 has a 2025 release window. So the PS4 came out in November 2013. The PS5 came out 7 years later in November 2020. If this pattern repeats itself, the PS6 would be out in November 2027. That's not the only Sony news I have for you today. Sony says it will not release any major existing PlayStation franchise games before April 2025. In a financial call, Sony Interactive Entertainment boss Hiroki Totoki said, "Regarding the first-party software, we aim to continue to focus on producing high-quality works and developing live service games. But while major projects are currently under development, we do not plan to release any new major existing franchise titles next fiscal year, like God of War Ragnarok and Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Totoki's comments appear to rule out everything from a Ghost of Tsushima sequel to a Horizon sequel before April 2025, which leaves a big first-party game gap in the PlayStation 5's slate. However, Sony will, of course, release new first-party games for the console from new franchises, which could include Haven Studios' Fair Games and Firewalk Studios' Concord, as well as non-major franchises. It could also continue to release remakes of big franchise titles. Sony released The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered earlier this year, and it seems likely other PlayStation 4 games could get similar treatment.